What's up everyone, STARSKREAM here. Let's talk about the brand new boss mode update. You'll notice here that we've got a bunch of new stuff like runes, things that you can add to your hero to upgrade different parts of either their attack, defense, their health, etc. We've got epic weapons that we don't know a whole lot about yet. This is the first day that this has all been released, so I'm still pretty iffy on a lot of these things, but I'm going to give as much info as I have. We've also got boss mode, which is a new campaign mode that'll allow you to get different materials and different things to create things such as your epics and other runes and such for your heroes. And new updates to your player profile and the boss island, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a second here. First thing I want to talk about is your hero profile. Now, up in the top left, before when you used to press this, it just used to show your VIP level and stuff like that. Now when we press it, it'll show a profile of your player profile, sorry. It'll show your progress as far as how far you've gotten in normal, challenge, and obviously now boss mode. It'll show your progress as far as heroes go in the collection area, which is right here. And in the PvP area, it'll show what your defenders are, who you have set up as your defense, and how many PvP trophies you've gotten so far. Right above, it'll show your recent achievements. These are things that you've done in-game, either with heroes, campaign, you as a player, or in PvP. And these are achievements that'll earn you titles, that'll earn you things like your boss points here. Now, here's what's cool about the player profile. It's going to give you a lot more in-depth view of what you have, what currencies you have, how far you've gotten on your profile, what things you've gotten done and what things you haven't gotten done. But also, here's the other cool part. What it's going to allow you to do, it's going to allow you to go to your friends, not just friends, but also in leaderboards, but we're just going to use friends as an example right now. One of my friends, Lost in the Town, if we want to go look at her profile, we can just click on her right here, go to View Profile, and we're going to be able to see everything that she's gotten thus far. We're going to be able to see her collection of heroes, what she's unlocked, what she hasn't unlocked. We're going to be able to see how far she's gotten in the campaign, what she has as her PvP defense, and how many trophies she's gotten. We'll also be able to compare our achievements versus her achievements and look at what guild she's in. To me, I think this is an awesome feature. Some people have been complaining, let's say that, they wanted their defense to be a secret and blah, blah, blah. To me, this is an awesome feature, a great feature. You're going to see this person's defense anyways if you're going to go up against them. And if you want to copy them, go ahead. It's not that big a deal. Now, one thing that they don't explicitly say in the notes, and something that I didn't notice until I clicked on it, was when I clicked on PvP, it brought me to her leaderboard. This is the ranking that she is in right now in her current tourney. Now, it doesn't seem right now like she's going very hard, but it's the beginning of the tourney, so that's probably why. But either way, doesn't matter. It'll allow you to show what all your friends are doing in their tourney, or any of your guildmates. So for those of you that are guild masters, you can keep track of what your guildmates are doing and such like that. So to me, that's a really cool feature that they didn't explicitly point out in the patch notes. Next, we're going to look at crafting and using runes. Again, I'm still not an expert in this, so we're just going to look at a first-hand look at what goes on right when you try and go and use these runes. As you can see, on this account, I haven't gone through the whole rune tutorial yet. I did that so that we could go through this in the video. One of the first things that it's going to ask us to do is equip a rune. Yeah. You go down to here to gear. Fire runes. Okay. It's mentioning here that shiny metal and stars decorating the rune are the most important things to look for. If you notice down here on the rune that it has some stars up here on the top right, and it also at the bottom, not yet, but it will have some little silver lining, but we'll look at that in a little bit here. We're going to tap to equip a rune to our hero. Yes, you're forcing us to do it, so we're going to do it no matter what. There we go. Now we've got a rune equipped. As you'll notice, we have about 5 slots for runes. We have a spot for an epic weapon down there on the far right, and it'll show if you've blessed that hero or not. It's telling us that runes are going to drop in dungeons. I'm assuming that this means in dungeons and boss mode, but I'm not positive if that's exactly true or not yet. So we're going to take a look here. Next thing it's going to tell us to do is to upgrade runes. This, in my opinion, is very, very similar to a system that I became comfortable with in the game Diablo, in Diablo 3. Diablo 3, you got things like gems and runes that you could use in your weapons, and this to me seems very familiar, but I'll touch on that a little bit more in a second here. So here what we're going to do is we're going to tap on this rune, we're going to click on upgrade. It's going to cost us a little bit of gold. I'm not sure exactly how much to fully upgrade a rune yet, but it'll tell us in a little bit here. It's telling us here that we need to start crafting to make good runes. So we're going to go over to the craft section here. It's going to lead us along the way. We're going to craft a fire. And it looks like there's a bunch of different runes here that we can use depending on what we want to improve in our hero, whether it be power, focus, resist battle, elusive, and all these I'm assuming equate to something in the stats. Battle, obviously attack. It shows us here. Focus, skill, power, attack, etc., etc. We're going to start with battle because it forces us to. Lesser battle rune, yeah. We're going to click on it. And then we're going to craft. Now, these are the crafting materials that you're going to need to create your new rune. This is going to consist of this top material up here that says 5 out of 5. That's going to be the crafting material that you're going to get from breaking down other things. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more in a sec. The other things on the left and on the right hand side, you're going to get just from running dungeons. So we're going to click here on craft. After it's crafted, it's going to get a random amount of stars and a random amount of this silver lining that's around it. You're going to be able to re-roll. It won't be able to go lower than what you randomly got, but there is a chance that you might spend gems on nothing. So what we're going to do is we're going to re-roll just to see, why not, see if we can get something better. No, we got no improvement. Alright, we got 4 more chances to actually improve this rune. Okay, so we got a little bit of improvement with that little red dot that went on the top. Let's try again. See if we can get some more stars. No improvement so far. We got 1 more try. Or we got 2 more tries, sorry. And no improvement. So that looks like that's the best we're going to be able to do with this rune here. Now it's going to take us over to our rune inventory. So we got to click on runes over here. We're going to see our fire runes. It looks like we have a little bit of a couple other runes, but first we're going to click on fire here. It looks like we need to claim this reward. And now it's going to teach about salvaging. This is what I was talking about that reminds me a lot about Diablo. In Diablo, when you got epics and different pieces of gear and weapons and stuff like that that you didn't need, you were able to salvage them. And salvaging them would give you certain types of materials. In this case, in Dungeon Boss, salvaging gives you these types of materials that we're about to see right now. I'll show you. Improved Bulwark. We're going to salvage this. And it's going to give us this, that gray looking thing. That I forget what it was called. But it's going to give us that type of material that we're going to need to then build other runes. So that way, if you're getting tons of runes that you don't need, at least you'll be able to break them down for something that can be used towards something you do need. That's pretty much all the info I have right now about runes to cover. We'll refer to that later on. Again, this is the first day that this has come out, so I really don't know everything about everything yet. This is just my first look at everything. I took about an hour earlier just to kind of look through and take a glance at everything, and then I saved this so that I could come back and share this with you guys. So the next thing we're going to talk about here are legendary weapons. Now, it doesn't really talk about it a whole lot yet. And Zom doesn't have one, so we're not going to look at him. Let's look at somebody right now who has one. Okay, so right now, as of right now, Hansuke has a legendary weapon slot right here that we'll see. You'll see right down here in the bottom right that epics are powerful upgrades to your heroes that greatly increase some of their statistics and add a chance for an epic effect. Now, I don't have his epic weapon yet, obviously, because I just opened this up. So we're going to try and figure out how to do that. Now, it shows right here his epic sword, which it says we can get in Savage Grove. We're going to look at that in 1 second here. The next thing it shows is fresh earth. Fresh earth is a mat or a material that you can acquire in a few different places, it would seem. Okay. The next thing we got here is natural crystal. I somehow already have 10 of them. I don't know why, but I have 10 of them, and now it looks like normal dungeons and some of the new dungeons are going to be able to yield those types of materials. So let's look in the campaign here. You'll notice over here on the left hand side that there's this skull island. This is the boss mode boss island. This Savage Grove you see here is going to be very specific to 2 heroes. In this case, it's specific to Willow Swift and to Hansuke. Now, basically what you're going to have to do is, in order to get the materials that are required for the epic weapons for Willow Swift and Hansuke, you're going to have to run this dungeon, complete it, and get the materials and these epic weapon parts. See this epic part here? We got a perfect arrow, which is an epic part, and an epic. And these are all going to be things that are going to improve the epic and be able to create this epic weapon for your hero. Now, these boss island levels are extremely difficult, just like pretty much the rest of boss mode. We're going to take a look right now. First, before we get into the boss island, we're going to look at a regular boss mode level. Okay, in the boss mode in chapter 1, you're going to have a normal, challenging, and boss version of each level. So Goblin War Party has a normal, a challenge, and a boss mode. Brambleburg, normal, challenge, boss mode. And you're going to be able to run all 3, obviously, each one getting exponentially harder than the last. Let's run a normal. In the normal, it says the recommended level is 65 to 66. I have, up to this point, never on any of my accounts run one of these levels before. So we're just going to take a look and see what happens here. This is going to be a, what is it, mostly dark and grass. So what we're going to want to do here, what I'm going to want to do, I'm just going to run all goblins, and let's just see how it goes here. We can run our squinch because they have grass, and the fire might work to our advantage in this one. But this is looking pretty grim here. Pretty grim. And I think that's going to be it for us. That's okay. That just gives you a taste of what we've got going here. It gives you the option to continue. I'm not going to continue. We don't really need to. It's fine. This was just to show you. We're going to go back here. Next, I'm going to show you a preview of the boss island. I have already passed this multiple times, but we're just going to take a look at it just so that I can show you guys what it's like here. Okay, now the way boss island works, if you'll notice here, some of the prizes here are, like I was mentioning before, epic parts or epic weapons for a specific hero. In this case, this island gives us weapons and parts for both Willow and Hansuke. In order to get either of these, however, you need to be running Willow or Hansuke to be able to get their respective parts. So basically what that means is that if you want to run this boss island, you have to run it with one of those 2 heroes. You can run it with both as well, but it will be very difficult to beat this with both Hansuke and Willow on one team, because realistically, neither of them are that great of heroes. So what we're going to try is this. Instead of bringing all these energy pots, I am going to bring a revive potion, just in case we lose Nub Nub. We're going to run this and see how far we can get without needing to do any retries or anything like that. We're just going to try this one time just so I can show you guys exactly what it looks like here. Now, the first time I ran this, I really had no issues whatsoever until the final round, until the boss round, and that was just intense. But we're going to look at that real quick. Now, one thing you'll notice here is that when you go to use your friends here, like we want to against this caster, your friends who have not updated yet are not going to be usable. This might be confusing at first until you notice or until you watch my video. I'm just letting those of you who are watching this in on this little tip here. that the reason it looks like you have none of your friends available, even though you might have a bunch of friends, is because it's not going to let you until they update. We're going to go ahead and use one of our friends here. You know what? No, actually, no. Let's use Squinch here. Squinch will give us a nice little boost by giving us, what's his little thing here? I always forget what it is. It's, Stonefish just at 10 damage versus our Nub Nub. There's not a whole lot we can do against that. Again, I will say that it's easy to complain about it, but realistically, the boss island is not supposed to be fair or easy. It's supposed to be extremely difficult. So, I mean, if that's any consolation, I guess you can look at it that way. But we are defeated. We lost. It's okay. I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like here. Once you pass it, you do get the ability to get some items like we were looking at there. That'll grant you access to legendary weapons and legendary materials. In the craft section here, you'll see rune crafting, runes so that you can actually upgrade and mess with the runes you already have. And the materials, you'll be able to check what materials you already have for creating new runes here, such as essences and jewels. Alright, we're not going to know a whole lot about that until we explore a little bit more. Today's the first day, so we don't know a whole lot about everything, but we're going to really get into it. One thing I've noticed here in the Evos is that you can also take your Celestial Evos, and if you want to, you can squash them, which I'm assuming creates... it says 5 Evo Essence. I don't know exactly what that means. I'm going to assume that it means parts of the lesser Evos, but I'm going to say yes, I created 5 Evo Essence. It doesn't really tell me what that means. I go to Essences, nothing's here, and Evos, I'm assuming that maybe it's just some of these Evos, but I don't really know yet. So we're going to find out within the next couple of weeks, I'm sure. But anyways, this has been a long enough video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope that you guys are really liking this new update. If not, let me know what you're not loving about it, but also let me know what you are loving about it. For me, there's a lot of cool new aspects of the game that I really look forward to. I know that things might get a little bit hectic and crazy with ruins in PvP and with campaign, and I know that the boss mode is very difficult and blah blah, but hopefully you guys appreciate the things that have gone into it. I look at it as if anything, it's an improvement from before. Even if it's not exactly everything that I hoped and dreamed it would be, it is definitely, for me, an improvement on what we had before. I really love this new character screen. I really love what they've done with PvP and how we can look at what our friends are doing and everything like that. That, to me, is very cool. And I can only see this getting better going into the future. Now, this whole next week, I'm going to be testing out boss mode, checking out all of the different runes and all the different options and everything, and I will be streaming this Friday for a very extended and special stream for you guys. Hopefully we can get something going with some giveaways or something for you guys. Please mark down this Friday, make yourself ready so that we can hang out and we can check out boss mode to the fullest once I've actually gotten a grip on everything that it has to offer. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it as always. Please like, comment, subscribe. Go follow me on Twitch. I live stream very often. I will be live streaming throughout this week as I test out the new boss mode, campaigns, and dungeons, and etc. I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you very much. Have a good one.